I have to admit, I always thought Tulsi Gabbard was extra smart.
See that lady right there? That is Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard, other than Bernie Sanders, maybe Nina Turner, Jill Stein, John Mubaraka, are some of the most credible politicians around right now.
Tulsi Gabbard, the United States representative from Hawaii, she is also a woman of color. She's a veteran and a strong progressive, but look at how the media is attacking her. Tulsi Gabbard is constantly labeled as an Assad apologist, right-wing. She's not progressive enough. No one knows who she is, and that she is incapable of leading a strong campaign.
Today, Tulsi Gabbard is officially announcing that she's running for president. And at the same time, NBC News decides to release an article saying that she's being propped up by the Russians. I mean, the smear campaign against Tulsi Gabbard it's honestly appalling.
So Tulsi Gabbard released one of her first ads that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Now compare that with Kamala Harris's launch video. Night and day. Night and day. Kamala Harris, her thing is just, they almost become that parody of a corporate Democrat.
There is a serious lack of anyone really laying out a truly progressive foreign policy vision, with the exception of one person, Tulsi Gabbard.
What'd I tell y'all? I told y'all that the establishment is going to learn to stop playing around with Tulsi Gabbard.
Okay, so let's take a look at how the media is treating Tulsi Gabbard versus how they're treating Kamala Harris. Now, both of these women have announced their official run for president in 2020. Tulsi Gabbard, who's been overwhelmingly barraged with attacks by the media. Tulsi Gabbard once touted working for anti-gay group that backed conversion therapy. Tulsi Gabbard, past anti-gay comments. CNN has just been launching article after article after article after article attacking Tulsi Gabbard. MSNBC, NBC, all of the mainstream media outlets have been launching attacks on Tulsi Gabbard.
So what does this have to do with Gabbard? Well, Gabbard's positions are very similar to Bernie. She doesn't have a history of playing identity politics. She isn't a corporate or an establishment Democrat. All of these things Hillary was accused of, as well as much of the current Democratic candidates that have been announced for 2020. She supports federal legalization of marijuana. She was against the TPP. She's pro-choice. She stands for very strict gun control. And despite having a distinguished military career, she's very anti-war, which generally has been a liberal position until recently, it seems. She supports increased minimum wage to $15 an hour, supports universal health care. She supports tuition-free college and wants to end Citizens United. She's very similar to Bernie. She is a minority, she's female, young, and not an establishment Democrat. Almost the perfect candidate to beat Trump, but yet the left is looking to destroy her. Keeping a finger on the media pulse, it's apparent that Kamala Harris has been anointed the candidate of choice by at least the media, and I'm sure we will see the DNC. While they push for Kamala Harris incredibly hard, the media, and again the DNC, will see Warren, Gillibrand, Castro, and Booker as not strong candidates and help minimize their presence. They'll treat Bernie as a last election news and write him off. Tulsi, on the other hand, there has been a concentrated attack.
Tulsi Gabbard went on Morning Joe the day after Donald Trump's State of the Union speech, and the Morning Joe crew was very unfair to her, in my opinion. Tulsi Gabbard tried to explain her anti-interventionist position, and the Morning Joe crew tried to really push her into saying that Assad is the enemy, when Tulsi Gabbard was trying to explain that Assad doesn't really pose a direct threat to the United States and is therefore not the enemy. And they had this back and forth, and in the end the crew was really trying to make it seem like Tulsi Gabbard was some kind of Assad lover or dictator lover of sorts. They also tried to push this propagandistic idea that somehow Tulsi Gabbard is being propped up by the Russians.
So today we're going to debunk this whole notion that Tulsi Gabbard, the candidate for president of the United States, is somehow supporting far-right Hindu nationalists in India.
As this story says, establishment figures on both right and left are scrambling to smear the anti-war congresswoman with impeccable identity politics bona fides.
Tulsi Gabbard is the only anti-war candidate right now for president in 2020, and that includes Donald Trump. So it is very predictable, almost pathetically predictable, that the minute she announced her candidacy, given the given the current milieu, that she would be painted with the Putin brush as a Russian sympathizer.
You know, another way of saying it, we like to do coverage on people who are being attacked unfairly by corporate media. Someone has to set the record straight. What's happening with Tulsi, and can we get past a point where everyone's not calling her an Assad puppet or a Russian stooge or something of that nature?
She was great there. That was great. First of all, shutting down stupid airhead Megan. The way that she handled that was so good. She obviously knows what she's talking about. That was, I'm persuaded. I'm on Tulsi's side now.
I can't say enough good things about her. I think she is, the big hope in America at the moment. And I was hoping that she was going to be the next president back in 2017. So when she announced, I was very happy. But she is going to get attacked more and more and more.
Like
and
so many.
You know what? This sort of thing is why, because she put this out, I think this was out just after she announced on the Van Jones show. And again, enjoy it. This is what I hope the next president of the United States' thoughts on peace are.